Before this video begins, I just want to quickly talk about a post I put out on the YouTube community tab, as well as all my social media pages. If you've seen it already and you know what's coming, please feel free to skip ahead to the start of the video. I'll leave a timestamp on screen now. The actual video will just be in full after this. But I do just want to quickly reinstate what I've said in that statement and just let you all know what's going on with content, because I think it's important that I do make it clear. I hint at it in the video, and I'm not going to remove the mentions there, but I want to make sure it's clear at the start here. Basically, I am going to be making a very conscious effort in 2025 to be spreading my content beyond Payday. Not stopping Payday, I'm not pulling my partnership with Starbreeze or anything like that, but for too long now, my content has been held in a chokehold by Payday 3. I made a video about half a year ago saying I was changing things up, and, well, look at my upload history. You can see that didn't obviously happen the way that I said it was going to. So I'm doing this statement to try and hold myself more accountable, because every time I go to make a different video, I end up stopping myself because I'm thinking, oh, well, this might not do very well anyway, and also it might impact the algorithm for the next Payday 3 video, and I might end up with 2 bad performing videos instead of 1 good performing video and stuff like that. But especially in the last month, the choices that Starbreeze's higher-ups have made, I don't feel have been with the fans in mind with regards to Payday 3. Whether it be laying off staff members instead of moving them between teams, whether it be focusing really hard on Project Baxter, a project that a lot of the Payday fans do not have any interest in from Starbreeze, reducing funding, staff cuts for Payday 3, and now today's news that 25% of Starbreeze's developers are being pushed into a Payday expansion in PUBG. It just feels to me, as a fan of Payday at my very core, as I've said in these previous videos, that Starbreeze don't see how we're seeing things, and I'm trying to make it as clear as I can, but I'm basically feeling like I'm watching a franchise that I really love get taken out back and shot in the head. It doesn't feel like any decision, despite what they say about Payday being a priority, nothing they're doing is showing that recently, and I think that's given me the edge to just go, do you know what? Now's the time to just push back a little bit. I'll still report the news, but I can't keep all my eggs in one basket anymore. I refuse to do that. So I'm going to stick to my words this time, and starting next year, maybe even tail end of this year, if something comes up. I've got a couple of ideas, especially a favourite and least favourite games of 2024. I did that for 2023 on my second channel. I'll do this year's on this channel, so keep an eye out for that. But I'm going to start expanding to other things, and I welcome any and all suggestions you've got in the comment section below. Please do consider leaving them down below and letting me know what you'd like to see in the future. And again, as I always say to Starbreeze developers, you guys are doing the best you can, and none of this is done with you in mind. And for the viewers, it's not even going to look that different for you probably, because it will be Payday videos with other stuff dotted in between, and you choose what you watch and what you don't watch. I'm not stopping Payday, like I said, but it's just not going to be all I do anymore. I don't want all my eggs in one basket. I don't want to be known as just a Payday YouTuber anymore. I want to be known as a YouTuber, and that'll take time, but I hope I'll get there at some point. Thank you all for all the love and support. I really do appreciate it, and hopefully I'll just see you in the next Payday video, whether it be the dev blog tomorrow or the update next week. But as I've said, here's the full video, unedited. I don't really know. I might check back over it, but I think I mentioned some of this stuff. I'm not going to cut it out. I'll just let it flow naturally. Hope you enjoy the video, even though it's not very good context. If anyone is an executive at Starbreeze watching this, here's my last thing I will say. I know that I've said a few things recently about incompetence, etc. Please know it's all coming from someone who's a fan. You guys really probably do think you're doing the best you can, but I'm telling you as a fan of Payday and as someone who's in touch with the community, my community, the wider community, while not everyone agrees with me, there is a very large consensus that the decisions you're making right now are not the best ones. And all I ask is you please look into your own choices and really think if these are the best ones with Payday in mind, because I don't think a lot of us agree with you. That's all I'll say. Thank you everyone for watching. Enjoy the video. I'll see you soon. Do you know what, folks? I really thought we could spend the next week just being excited for First World Bank. I've been waiting for that heist to come to Payday 3 since before the game even came out, really. In my head, that was one heist I always wanted to see come back in a sequel because I love it so dearly. And already, some of the hype for it was really hampered by Starbreeze announcing they were going to reduce the investment and team significantly for Payday 3 in Year 2. I did a few videos on it, and honestly, by the end of them, I thought, you know what? That's enough negativity. I don't like doing negative content, and I'd rather focus on the positives. And yet, somehow, Starbreeze managed to pull yet another blunder out of their sleeve. Honestly, those sleeves must be TARDISes at this point, because they're clearly bigger on the inside, the amount of blunders that are up there. Because today, they have now announced they're partnering with Krafton, the team behind PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, to make a Payday-like game mode in that game. And normally, I'd just go, you know what, a video game crossover? That's cool. The Rainbow Six Siege one was cool. We got Dallas and Chain skins in the game. Wasn't very much effort, I imagine, and it's still nice to see Payday in a different game. And who knows, maybe gets people into the franchise. Fair enough. I don't take issue with that. What I do take issue with is that a quarter of Starbreeze's dev team, I wish I was making this up, have been put into making this Payday crossover in PUBG. A quarter of their devs. If I even need to explain how stupid that is, then clearly I'm just not doing my job very well, but we're going to read through this press announcement and then just basically talk about how bloody stupid it is. But two things. First off, as always, if you're new to the channel or find yourself coming back regularly, please do click subscribe. I'd appreciate it. But I said this a couple of videos ago, and now I genuinely mean it. If there is a game you want to see me talk about or cover, please leave it in the comment section down below. And if you see someone mention a game you'd like to see me cover that's already in a comment, give it a thumbs up just so I can see which ones are more popular. Because I'm going to be honest with you, there's too much negativity with Payday, and I'm getting really tired of all the news I put out being negative. So I'm going to be honest, going into 2025, I'm going to be seriously considering other video games as well as Payday content. I'm not going to stop reporting Payday. I told you that I'm with this till it sinks or swims, but I really don't want Payday to be all this channel is at this point because it's just bringing me down and I can't stand the constant negativity. I'd rather have videos I can put time into that I know I'm not going to want to pull my hair out in afterwards. So if there's a game you want to see me talk about, let me know, because I'm going to be seriously thinking about what else to do going into the new year, because really, I can't just play Payday. I don't think there's going to be enough updates for it anyway, but the news is too depressing. I've honestly had enough of it just being the only thing I do. With all that being said though, let's give this a read, shall we? So, Starbreeze, the developer of the popular game series Payday, you wouldn't think they knew it was popular if they wouldn't put their effort into Payday 3, today announced a strategic partnership with South Korean Krafton Inc. to bring the Payday experience to Krafton's game PUBG Battlegrounds under a work-for-hire agreement where the project will engage about a quarter of Starbreeze's development organization during a year. The collaboration aims to increase the visibility and reach of the Payday franchise by bringing the heisting experience to a broader audience through PUBG, one of the most popular games globally. In the partnership, Starbreeze retains full ownership of the Payday IP, and with Krafton acquiring the rights to incorporate and adapt it within PUBG. By leveraging Krafton's established distribution and player base, Starbreeze looks to strengthen Payday's position in the market, introducing its cooperative gameplay experience to new players, platforms, and regions. The regions being, it seems quite commonly talked about. I've asked my Discord server and a lot of other people this morning about this news. Apparently, PUBG is quite big in the Asian market, particularly China, which makes sense based on the Steam stats, because genuinely, I'll be honest, I didn't think anyone even played PUBG anymore, especially with Fortnite having the staying power that it does. We'll talk about that in a minute, but it seems to be pulling in several 100,000 players every month still on PC at the very least, so fair enough, going for a game that's got a bit of an audience and hoping to put people in to play Payday 3 based on seeing the crossover. But it all starts to come off the rails where they say the partnership reflects Starbreeze's strategy to maximize the potential of the Payday IP and having a broader portfolio of projects under development. Work-for-hire projects also give Starbreeze the opportunity to focus on continuing creating compelling gaming experiences. Payday 3 is not a compelling gaming experience, and we've been telling you this, Starbreeze, for well over 12 months now. The game's getting better, we keep saying this, but it is not a compelling game. There are people out there who will say it is, and you know what, if you feel that way, totally fair to you, more power to you. But the very common consensus is that Payday 3 is getting better, but is still a shadow of what it is compared to Payday 2. That's just a fact. I'm sorry, but that is the blunt nature of it. And as I've said before, any Starbreeze developers who are watching this video, because I know you guys are out there, I know you guys are trying your best. But seriously, the most baffling part about this, and well, sorry, most baffling is pushing it, because there's several baffling things here. But one thing that really strikes me is the lack of logic behind this. The whole point of crossovers is you put your game in some other game to draw people from that game into playing your game. But if your game is constantly breaking with every update, is not getting fixed nearly quick enough to the point where a hotfix for the last update was meant to come out a month later and just didn't happen for whatever reason, how do you expect people who play a different game to want to come over and try yours and then stay with it when they realise that not enough effort's being put into it? Because, again, we need to point this specific bit out, a quarter of Starbreeze's development organisation during a year. Now, let's not go too far into specific numbers because not a lot of it is shared, but we know there's approximately 190 staff members in Starbreeze right now. That is not all developers. There are people who work in management, community teams, all sorts of stuff beyond game development. So let's say, blanket suggestion here, and again, this is just rough numbers, but let's assume that maybe 2/3 of Starbreeze's staff are game developers, so somewhere around the 120 to 130 developer mark. This is just a guess, but stick with me on this. Those resources have to be spread between Payday 3, Project Baxter, the third Starbreeze live service game that hasn't been talked about much but is still coming in 2028, and you've still got to make space for a quarter of those developers to be working on this PUBG crossover. If it is, say, 120 staff members, that means approximately 30 of them are working on PUBG. And so all you got to do is do some simple maths from there. Let's say it is 30 out of 120. That means about 90 devs left to work on the rest of the stuff. Payday 3, Baxter, and the third game. And if you're being really serious, with Payday 3 having reduced development costs and reduced staffing going into year 2, it genuinely would not surprise me if the number of people working on Payday 3 now is less than the number of people working on this team. Because if Payday 3 even had the same number of devs, let's say it was 30, stick with this hypothetical, that leaves 60 staff members to work on Baxter, a fully fledged game that they're trying to push as hard as they can, and whatever this third game is. I don't buy it. I don't buy that at all. I genuinely think we live in a situation now where Starbreeze will try and tell you that Payday 3 is their top priority, but instead do everything within their power to not focus on the actual game that is meant to be their cash generator. I genuinely think we've got a decent chance Payday 3 has less devs right now than this PUBG crossover. And by the way, I fully believe this is partially why Payday 3 lost so many of its devs and funding going into year 2. One thing Matt Yule, the acting CEO, said in the live stream with Almir the other week was that they can't announce things they're doing with the company ahead of time until they can make investors aware. And this is an investor relation article. It wasn't even on Starbreeze's base website. It's on their corporate website. Look at the URL up here. It's corporate.starbreeze. I guarantee you this is the reason they made their choices a couple of weeks ago and decided, hey, let's pull people away from Payday 3. Because for some reason, in their warped minds, they think that getting more attention via PUBG is more important than making sure the game they want to push players to try is functional. It doesn't make sense. How on earth are you going to expect people to want to stay with your game if you won't even put the manpower in to keep it going to any good degree? We've got content being delayed, a hotfix that can't even make it out a month later, and goodness knows what the updates are going to look like in year 2. I was genuinely ready to just move on and report the stuff as it happens and not worry about it too much. But it's as if Starbreeze are incapable of stopping themselves from making own goals. This collaboration might have been a decent idea a year down the line, not now. And not to mention, genuinely, if you want to collaborate with another game, I do not understand for the life of me why they chose PUBG and not Fortnite. There are people in this audience who clearly don't like Fortnite. That's fine, you know, you do you. But Fortnite has had staying power unlike anything I've ever seen in the video game industry, and especially in the last year where Fortnite have kind of been pushing their find it in Fortnite motto, where you can find all types of different games within it. It's not just the Battle Royale anymore. You've got the Guitar Hero style game, the Minecraft style game with Lego Fortnite, all sorts of stuff they're trying to expand into. If they are making some kind of game mode, which the way they're wording this very much sounds like they are, it's a unique kind of Payday experience that they're trying to talk about later in here, then why couldn't that exist in Fortnite? I mean, genuinely, you could have a unique game mode that Fortnite push, maybe some little sprinkles of it in Battle Royale to make sure that the core audience of Fortnite are seeing it, maybe a couple of Payday skins in the item store. You could easily make that happen, and Starbreeze have worked with Epic Games before. They put Payday 2 on the Epic Games Store and introduced crossplay just to break matchmaking. I mean, I don't know why they did it, but one of the most common theories is just that Epic paid Starbreeze a big bag of money to make it happen to help fund Payday 3 or whatever else Starbreeze wanted, and that wouldn't surprise me, because the decision to do that Epic Games Store thing with Payday 2 still baffles me to this day, especially on the wake of it dying before Payday 3 released. I don't get it. So why they couldn't choose to work with Epic, I don't know, but maybe it is, as people are saying, because of this big Asian market that PUBG is supposedly known for. I don't know too much about that, so feel free to leave more comments about regional players and stuff for PUBG below if you're more of an expert than I am, but maybe that's the point. Maybe they've chosen PUBG because they want that specific market to reach out to. It's just one of those things, once again, where it's like, I know what you're trying to do, I understand some of the logic behind it, but you're going about it in the most cack-handed way I've ever seen. Like I said with the reducing funding of Payday 3, I get it from a financial standpoint, because Matt's literally confirmed on stream that Payday 3 was not a profitable game for Starbreeze yet. So I can understand them wanting to pull some money away from that, but it doesn't mean it's the best decision. Just because something might make sense logically does not mean you have to do it at that point or do it in that certain way. Not only are they pulling their dev team away from the game that should really be keeping their company afloat, because again, they have too much faith in Baxter being a big success for them. Maybe it will work, and I'd love to be proven wrong, but based on their last few releases, I think it's safe to say there's a decent chance it won't work out. Then you look at this and you think, how on earth do you not just think putting those developers working on a PUBG crossover into Payday 3 is a bad idea? Why not get Payday 3 to be the game you wanted it to be from day one? The game that fans have been begging you to make it like before you start worrying about big crossovers like this. By all means, let Crafton make a Payday crossover, but let them do it. Talk to them, liaise with them, check over it and see what they're doing and approve it on your end. Don't send your developers to work on it. They're better equipped making Payday 3 a better game. I still can't play the bloody thing because of the stuttering, which by the way is still the case. I know my last Payday 3 video, my game was working. That's because I had no friends online. As soon as a couple people came online when I went to try and stream yesterday, it started stuttering again. You cannot seriously tell me that the priority should have been this crossover. More and more, every little bit that happens, each one of these individual things that happen with Starbreeze, in a vacuum, maybe not too bad, although the investor relation thing was really bad. But the more these things build up, the more these decisions don't make any damn sense, the more I just wonder what the point of being a fan of Payday is at this point. And that's not hyperbole, I'm being genuinely serious. Because at this point, Payday is the butt of the joke in my friend group, no one else gives a damn about it, and Payday 3 has such strong potential to be a good game, but every turn that they make, there's an own goal somewhere, something not working the way it should, some common sense being missed somewhere, and most importantly, executives just not knowing what the bloody hell they're doing with their own IP. I genuinely think it is an insult now for Matsuo to say Payday 3 is Starbreeze's priority, because it evidently isn't. You might say the Payday IP is your priority. This definitely does seem that you're trying to push the Payday IP, and I can back that, but calling Payday 3 your priority is a spit in the face of everyone who's stuck with this company, not just in the last 12 to 15 months with Payday 3, but far beyond that with Payday 2. I'm genuinely sick of talking about Starbreeze people and it always being negative, because it's like, hey, yeah, they've done another stupid thing, let's play a different game. I cannot for the life of me fathom it. I just can't. I genuinely do not understand it. I mean, there's more stuff I couldn't even read out here that I can't bother to, because what's the bloody point? It's just them talking about how good of an idea it is because they want to make their IP more attractive. Your most recent game is not attractive to play, Starbreeze. Fix that, then worry about promotions. Oh, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it, people. I don't get it. My head hurts. I've got what I want to say out. I saw this article, and the more I thought about it, the more it just gave me a headache, and that'll do. That'll do. I still haven't played the First World Bank heist, and do you know what? I'm going to be completely honest. I have almost no motivation to play it now, which just breaks my heart, because First World Bank is probably one of, if not my favourite heist in Payday history. I was so excited when I saw that in the Starbreeze studios that they were making this heist, and it was the one that was coming. I was so happy to get a free cam around it and just see what they'd done and how much better they've made the heist look. And especially after the dev updates last week and me making the video I did 2 days ago talking about just wanting to be excited, I was genuinely prepared to go, do you know what? Let's just focus on the positives. Let's just focus on what's good right now, because that's what I need. And then we get this absolute stinker. It's just, how am I supposed to in any way recommend people play Payday 3 if this is the stuff they're gonna do? Like, how am I supposed to recommend it? Honestly, even when First World Bank comes out and I make my review, I think I'm really going to struggle to recommend playing this game, because sure, that heist is probably going to be great, but what does this say for the future of Payday if this is the kind of thing that Starbreeze thinks is a priority? I just give up. I genuinely do. That's everything I've got to say. This was basically just a rant. The rest of the article here with the quotes are there. I can't bring myself to read them. I really can't just bring myself. You can see them on the screen, and I'll link the article in the description as I always do. So yeah. Let me know what you think about this. I'm good. I'm just gonna put this video out here and then I'm just gonna let it sit. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you've enjoyed it, if you enjoyed watching my blood pressure rise, and subscribe if you want to stay in touch with future Payday content, as well as whatever else I decide to put out. I've been sitting on making a Black Ops 6 video for a while, and I kept not doing it because I was like, no, there's Payday 3 news, I'll focus on that. Nah, priorities are going to be changing, I think. I will always report the news, I just don't know how much I'm going to prioritize it sometimes if this is the kind of stuff that Starbreeze thinks is logical. I don't know. 10 years of doing YouTube, and a lot of that being Payday content, I'm really starting to wonder why I'm only doing that. And I can't believe I feel like that, because we are a year into what was supposed to be a big step forward for Payday, and every turn it's just gone wrong. And it just upsets me, honestly. So, that'll do. Thanks for watching. I'll undoubtedly either see you tomorrow with whatever the dev blog is. Hopefully it's something good that doesn't make me want to throw my head against a wall. If there's nothing there, I won't make a video, and I'll just see you all on Tuesday when the update drops. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Take care.